Cincinnati versus Nebraska preview. Let's start with the Cincinnati side here. Head coach Scott Satterfield. Third season at Cincinnati, just like Matt Rhule. 8-16 record. 13th career season as a head coach, 84-64. So he does have a winning record. The Bearcats went 8-16 through his first two seasons. Prior to Cincinnati, posted 26-24 record in 4 seasons as the head coach at Louisville. ACC, now in the Big 12. He was at App State before that. So you see the coaching pedigree, smaller school, FCS, and move up. That time at App State, pretty dang good, 50-24. 4 bowl games, 3 consecutive Sun Belt titles. He joined the Mountaineer staff in 1998 before coaching running backs and QBs and became the head coach. So you can see, build himself up. Was Toledo's passing game coordinator and started at FIU. Was at FIU as well. 27 games as a QB for App State and was first team all conference 1995. So App State is his home. Cincinnati, Nebraska. First, they played before, but Satterfield has never coached against Nebraska before. Cincinnati, information about them, has fielded a football team since 1885. We all remember that year, right? 667, 615 record. So for playing that many games, to be positive is pretty dang good. 16 conference titles, 4 Big East championships, 3 American Athletic Conference championships, AAC, but has not won a Big 12 title. As you see right there, not won a national title. Again, they're technically at home, but this is a neutral site game in Arrowhead, which will be much more pro Nebraska. You look at the teams, just like Nebraska plays a major Power 4 school, then they have 2 easier schools per se, Bowling Green, Kansas State, Northwestern State, Then they face Kansas, Iowa State, UCF, Oklahoma State. So they're at home 2 games, go to Kansas, then back at home, Iowa State, UCF. Don't have to go to Florida in October and to deal with the humidity. Pretty good. I moved to Nebraska from Orlando. I used to cover UCF a bunch, so I know it very well. Then you have Baylor, Utah, Arizona, BYU, TCU. That's a very tough final, you could say 6 games. Oklahoma State, they're usually ranked. Baylor, up and down. They've been down as of late. But then Utah's usually has a crazy good line and they're challenging for a title. Arizona is usually pretty good. BYU, they can be very good. Last year they were undefeated for like half the season, if not longer. And then TCU, we know historically been pretty good. Cincinnati last year finished 5-7 with wins against Townsend, Miami, Ohio, Houston, UCF, and Arizona State. So you would say they really only beat 2 teams. Houston's better at basketball than football. 2 teams that really mattered, UCF and Arizona State. What do they need to do? Replace their top rusher from last season, Corey Kinner. He had 1,100 plus yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. They do return Brendan Sorby and Evan Pryor, names you will see on the field, who rushed for about 400 yards and change, respectively. Sorby is the QB. So he is a rusher and a passer, something you have to be looking forward to on defense. Keep your eyes in the backfield. Obviously, don't ball watch, but make sure, if he gets out of contain, you got to be ready for him to get downfield. He completed 64% of his passes for 2,800 yards with 18 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in 12 games. Cincinnati lost 4 of his top 5 receiving targets from last season, including Xavier Henderson's 60 receptions, 730 yards. So that is something that you're going to have to deal with, a young wide receiving core. Nebraska has a veteran DB, veteran linebacker. So this is something that should be in our advantage. Since he has to replace their best tackler from last season with 69 tackles, Jared Bartlett. The top return tackler is Jake Galloway, who had 58 stops, so not behind him a lot. So now you look at it by the numbers, rushing-wise, passing-wise, receiving-wise. So they got some stuff they got to make up with. Returning player, rusher is number 2. Passer, of course, we said Sorby's coming back. He's a promising young player people like. Then they're only returning 1 of their top 4 wide receivers. They're not returning their punter. Just like them, they have a new punter. Not returning either kick returner. So there's a lot of unknowns with this team. Not returning their field goal people. They're returning a couple of their tacklers. So there's a lot that you have to worry about. and coaching film. And Coach Rhule talked about that in his press conferences. We don't know a lot about this team. You can look at tape of people who've transferred in, look at old tape, but really, just like with volleyball we talked about, it's game one. You don't know. So you go out there and you play your game. You do your stuff well. Don't turn the ball over. Run your offense. Play your strong defense. Good things will happen. But you will have a lot of schematic stuff, understanding what the team has done week 1, 3, and 4 to prepare for game 5. If you look at how they did last year, when you look at the teams, again, new season, new teams. One's Big 10, one's Big 12, rushing offense. We were 11th in rushing in the Big, 96th nationally. Let's look at nationally because that matters. Cincinnati was 36, 184, Nebraska 130. So hypothetically, you think Cincinnati has an edge rushing. However, we just talked about they're not bringing their players back. Nebraska has Emmett Johnson and a veteran O-line. Focus on rushing. I think this is on us. Passing, 2 capable QBs. Dillon's coming back. We talk about Sorby. 55th nationally, 65th nationally. Very close, 228 to 236. I think Nebraska will be better than this. I think they'll be closer to 275, 300 this year with more checkdowns, which will lead to bigger plays, a strong rushing attack, play action pass, getting more deeper plays that way. Total offense, 360 for Nebraska, 420 for the Bearcats. 7th in the nation total offense. So something to be aware of. Again, they played Big 12 ball. Maybe they weren't winning games, but they were scoring and they were making big plays on offense. So you got to be aware of that. 25 points a game to 23 points a game. Right now, when I look at most spreads, Cincinnati is down by a touchdown. So like plus 6.5, meaning if Cincinnati loses by 4, excuse me, you win. If it's plus, it means you want them to, even if they lose by less than what your plus is, boom, you win money. So Nebraska, say they're minus 6.5 to win. That means they have to win by over 6.5 points to be able for you to win your money. So Cincinnati is getting some points there. You look at the defensive side, folks. Now you dive into defense. Rushing defense, nationally, 8th for Nebraska, 88th for UC. So again, if this is a trend and they've lost players, run the ball. Run the ball. They should not be able to run against you even though they had a decent rushing offense. We should be able to stop their rush. D-line's a bit younger. You do have experience, but I think this is where it will matter. If we can out-rush them, we can get 200 yards on the ground. In Arrowhead will be loud, deafening. That will open up the offense. Scoring defense, 17th nationally for Nebraska, 62nd. So you can see their offense was decent last year, but they were not able to win games. Let me re-say that. Scoring offense, they were 89th. I was looking at Big 12. Total offense, 36. For Nebraska, scoring offense, 103rd. Again, some other offenses playing in easier leagues can just get more points up. Third down offense, nationally, 48th. That's something we got to get better at for Nebraska. Again, converting on third downs. Not even getting the third down, making it manageable first. Getting a good first down. They can make it manageable second down. Make it manageable third down. Red zone offense, 117th in the nation for Nebraska. That's got to change. The defense, 20th. If you can get the red zone offense to be anything proficient with that type of defense, this team can go places. And that's why people are picking them as an outside chance to make the NCAA playoffs. Because if you can get this offense humming, which is what Dana Holgorsen, the OC, will do, that will be big time. You look at net returning, terrible on special teams. That's where Coach Mike Eckler coming in. You got the punter, Archie Wilson, the viral fame. You got Ja'Cory Barney and Marshall returning for Nebraska. This needs to improve. That's why they got someone new in. You look at penalties, 81st in the nation, averaging almost over 6 penalties a game. Too much. 50 penalty yards a game, too much. You're giving them free downs. You're giving them free opportunities to make easier plays. That's got to change, and that's under discipline and coaching. And that's something that Matt Rhule's talked about. Turnovers gains, 67th. Nation, 17. Turnovers lost, 19. So they were -2 margin. Well, minus 0.15 here. Got to do better. Got to win the turnover margin. For Cincinnati, again, you see the same type of stats. They were a bit better nationally than Nebraska. Not anything crazy to go home about besides for turnovers. So if you can win based off these stats for last year, which again, whole new team, win the line of scrimmage, which is like all football. But if you can stop their rushing with your strong rushing defense and you can move the ball down the field, good things will happen for Nebraska. So now we have a couple of interesting graphs for you. This is cumulative QB EPA, expected points added per arbitrary analytics. Thank you for this. And this is from SI's website. You can see here, Dylan started the season pretty good, but then in the middle of the year, fell off. Bad. Not the way you want to go, trending down. And then that SC game when Dana Holgorsen became offensive coordinator in that area, you can see it tapered off. Didn't go up, but then tapered off. So it shows that, hey, he can be effective under this coordinator. The opposite side for Brendan Sorsby, the QB again returning, you can see he continued to go up and up throughout the season. And that is something you want to see from Dylan for year 2. You want to see him expected points being added. So this is kind of like in the NBA, or excuse me, baseball, win above replacements, WAR. You want that number to be high. For Dylan, it was starting to go up and it went down. For Brandon, this is a big number for him and he does a good job. So you want, this is of course, not turn the ball over, not throwing interceptions, not fumbling, being able to get out of sacks, being able to lead your team down the offense, being able to lead fourth quarter drives, things like that. Bring that all together to get points for your team. Now let's look at Nebraska rushing stats. Again, arbitrary analytics for this one, SIR.com. Here are your people returning, and we'll go to Dylan in a second, but this is basically telling you the number of carries they had. So you can see the number of carries they had, the yards that they had, the number of touchdowns rushing expected points average, and then your average. So in carry distribution, is how many yards did you get on average? So Emmett averaged 5'11", 5 yards per rush. Pretty dang good. So 1st and 10, now it's 2nd and 5. Dylan, his rushes, again, we know sacks count as a rush, minus 1.3. Meaning, one, Dylan was not using his feet to get down the field and create plays, something he said he wants to try to do a bit more when it comes. It's not really his game per se. He even said his little brother is more of a rusher. But you can't average negative yards rushing. That means you're getting sacked too much. That's got to change. Heinrich Harburg, again, now is a tight end. He backed up Dylan at QB, 4.8. So when he was in there, he was more of a leggy QB. Ja'Cory Barney Jr., your top wide receiver. If he got a rush, say it was a jet sweep, something like that, got around 13 yards on average. Pretty dang good. So, one, get the ball into your wide receiver. Say it could be a wide receiver screen for Ja'Cory Barney Jr. and not just a jet sweep. But also, you got to keep Dylan Raiola upright, not getting sacked. And when the time is there, let him leg out a first down. Let him take a 2nd and 5, make it a 3rd and 2. Safe plays, avoid the rush. He stays healthy. Good things. Of course, get Emmett Johnson, your junior running back, the ball now. He could go for 1,000 yards easy. I think he can go for 10 touchdowns. He is a meatball. I interviewed him personally at Dylan's youth football camp. He is thick. We're like almost the same height. He might be an inch taller than me. I'm 5'8". He's 5'9". But dude is thick. He will not get tackled by the first person. Get him the ball. Now on the opposite side for Cincy, again, we talked about they're not really returning a lot of their players. Tawi Walker, running back, 10 touchdowns, 190 carries, 864 yards. Not back anymore. And that was someone he was getting about 5 yards. Brendan Sorsby, again, the QB. We said Dylan was minus because of the sacks. Brendan was averaging 4 yards a rush. So that's including getting sacked. That means he's getting downfield. He could be home run threat when he's in the open space running as a QB. That's something you have to be aware of for the Nebraska defense. Got to keep your eyes in the backfield, making sure you keep contained as a DN. DBs, obviously play your man, but if there's a broken play, you got to be where he'll run. But don't come up quick enough because then you're going to leave the wide receiver open. Could be a big play down the field. Evan Pryor, Manny Covey, again, 2 other running backs got it. Pryor, someone who 7.46 yards average, wasn't a lot, 56 carries, decent amount, but was able to make some big plays there. So something you got to be aware of. Now, if we go back up to Dylan, really no big plays. One little bump here, meaning he had like a bigger run. Emmett Johnson, no real big runs. So that's something you got to see them be more explosive in this offense with what they got to do. So, folks, here we go. Cincinnati, Nebraska, go big red. It's time. 8 p.m. Slade kickoff will start probably a bit after. Arrowhead, Kansas City, neutral site game, but Nebraska will be home. 70,000 fans cheering for Big Red. Year 3, Matt Rhule, new OC, new DC, but everything is trending in the right direction. By being there in the press conferences, being at practices, this team is gelling, hearing the right things, seeing the right things. The communication, the quality, the culture, everything is there. Now the talk is cheap. You gotta go prove on the field. And we will know what happens Thursday evening. Will they be 1-0 or 0-1? Comment your thoughts. Let me know if you like this type of stuff, if you want something different. This is a long preview. We won't have to do this for every time going over the season, the team. But I want to hear your thoughts on Nebraska football. And again, voicemails. I want to get some voicemails from everybody. Please send me an audio message or NTV News audio message. We'll play here your thoughts on the games for volleyball, football, soccer, you name it. Go Big Red. Please subscribe. We'll see y'all after the game. I'll try to put out a podcast over the weekend, breaking it down, and I'll have exclusive clips from being there, video, presser, everything in between. See y'all in Arrowhead.
In sports, we're down to the second last week of playing on the gridiron. Games are on time.